This is a knife blade, resting on a seam between two stones, each heavier than a loaded passenger jet, and it cannot slip in. No mortar, no metal. The stones simply fit. Above Cusco, in 1534, one of Pizarro's men reported a seam no pin could enter. We have been testing ever since. Coins, blades, sheets of paper, none ever has. So how do you lock stones of 120 tons together with no wheels, no iron tools, and no written plans? I'm June. This is the hour. 5 centuries of guessing have reached for magic. The builders left their working notes cut into the rock itself. We will read them before the end. In 1553, a chronicler who had walked these walls while survivors of the Inca Empire still lived set down the arithmetic. The Spanish called the place a fortress. The people who raised it called it the House of the Sun. 20,000 workers in rotation, 4,000 cutting at the quarries, 6,000 hauling with ropes of leather and plaited fiber. No carts, no oxen, no iron rope, ramps, and shoulders. The labor arrived as a tax paid in muscle. Villages sent crews for months, fed them, replaced them for generations. Stand at the wall today and you will see visitors pressing at the seams with whatever their pockets carry. Everyone brings a knife. Everyone fails. But knowing who built it only sharpens the question of how. Because 400 years later, one architect went back to the old Inca quarries to find out, by hand. Hold the timing. While Leonardo was painting The Last Supper in Milan, this fortress was still rising. These stones are not from some lost dawn of civilization. They were being fitted while Europe was printing books. Same decades. A 3-year mural, a 50-year wall. In the 1980s, an architecture professor picked up the river-cobble hammers the builders had left at the quarries, and within hours, he was cutting and shaping stone. The old chronicles had described the rest all along. Lower the block onto its neighbor, read the contact, lift it away, carve and lower again, over and over until the two faces close along every curve. Look at the seam again. That tightness is not a trick, it is repetition. Patience, recorded in rock. The method works. He proved it on the smaller stones. Then you stand under the giants and the arithmetic breaks. The working notes are still out there. The quarry faces keep the pit scars of hammer blows. The hillsides keep the drag roads, worn smooth under the stones they dragged. Some blocks still carry the bosses left for ropes and levers. The wall documents its own construction. Every mark is a sentence, but the largest block here passes 120 tons. Hauling one calls for thousands of pullers on a single ramp. And the honest truth is that no one has fully rebuilt that logistics. We know the method. The scale still resists. And that gap is not the strangest thing that ever happened to this wall. In 1536, the fortress became a battlefield. And when the fighting ended, the conquerors began taking it apart. Stone by stone, colonial Cusco was built out of Sacsayhuaman. Garcilaso, a son of the city, wrote that hardly a house below was not built from this fortress. The same chronicler who had counted the workers condemned the theft of their walls, and still it ran, until it reached these 3 tiers and met stones it could not move. The truth under the mystery, the looting had a weight limit. The wall survives because it was too heavy to steal, and this past June, the month not me, researchers published their attempt to refit 138 of the scattered stones digitally, putting the puzzle back. The knife still does not fit, not because the hands were alien, because the patience was. 24 granite boxes wait under an Egyptian desert, everyone found empty. That's next. I'm June, and this has been The Hour, where we keep a light on for the things the world almost lost.